Hey guys, this is Kai from Lucas Land & Royals. Hope you're doing well. I'm here at R&B Reptiles with Ryan and Ben. Say hi, guys.
Hey.
Hey. So they got a ton of stuff going on, and I'm going to show you some of that right now. So I've known these guys for a few years now. Ben, can you tell us a little bit about how you guys got started?
Sure. About 8 years ago, Ryan tricked me into going to a reptile show, my very first one down in Daytona, and we're up here in New Jersey. And he started showing me around to some of the animals that are out there, and I was never a snake guy, I was more a business guy. And I saw banana ball pythons selling for $25,000 each. And they're just really cool animals. Ryan got to explain a few ideas about how the genetics work and if you combine certain genes, what they would look like. And it got me excited to see that I can create something maybe that nobody's ever produced before. So that was a pretty fun idea, and I bought 5 snakes from there. You know, at first I was kind of buying a bunch of things that I thought were cool, but not really being focused. And then we started focusing on a couple projects and getting into a couple things that we really enjoyed. And I can show you some of that stuff now.
All right, let's do it.
So going along with that banana idea, we purchased our first banana maybe 6 years ago, something like that. Paid a lot more than what people are paying for them now, but this is second generation from him, and this is an Enchi banana who is breeding for us, and he's a good breeder, but you can see all the black speckling there, and the Enchi comes through. This white, some of the oranges in here. It's a really good looking snake, and this is just one of my personal favorites in my collection.
What would you want to put in this to like make it a better combo? What would you think?
So I think putting Orange Dream into it would be good, because Orange Dream is great with a bunch of things. And now since seeing your, the one snake you had there, you know, I would like to put Orange Dream and Yellow Belly in it, of course.
Yeah. That's a good combo.
I feel like we could make some real fun stuff. But bananas, you know, even though they color out everything, basically, they it's always fun to put pattern changers and
color enhancers.
Yeah, color enhancers in there. So
awesome. Let's move on to the next one. All right, Ryan, what do we have here?
So here we have a Triton Female that we held back from this year. It's a Orange Dream, Enchi, Fire, Pastel, and maybe one other gene. I'm not quite sure. We produced it from our Triton to a Pastel Calico female, and she's really beautiful, getting brighter and brighter.
Yeah, definitely. So bright, so clean as well.
So the goal here, I really want to make Super Orange Dream combos, and obviously Super Enchi, Super Orange Dream, anything's going to be awesome. So.
Cool. Now, would you want to put her back to Dad?
Probably not, because I don't want to risk making super fires.
Oh, that's right.
And then you'll lose everything you've been working on. It makes a really cool mystery ball. Like, I'd love to take one of those and like breed it back to a normal and see what happens. But yeah, probably try to stay away from fire with this one.
Okay, cool. Wow, this one looks really different. What's this one?
So this is an Arroyo female. Dan Wolf was selling out of this project when he got out of the business basically, and out of the hobby. But you can tell a couple of things about her. Now, she's our one snake in our whole collection that stays stressed out. But if you can look along the dorsal, how there's almost a solid stripe, how the coloring's clearly different. You can see the darks in between here and the blushing.
Oh yeah.
In here, and the outlines of the alien heads.
Yeah.
Usually when they're younger, you'll have a brighter dorsal and these black outlines of things. And so this is the first Arroyo female we've purchased years ago now, and we'll show you some of the babies now.
Okay.
This is from GHI Arroyo that we produced to a fire. And we believe this is the 3 gene. Not a lot's been done with Arroyo, so there's nothing that you can reference it by. This This is another one from that clutch.
Are they the same combos?
Not exactly sure. One's a little bit lighter, obviously, and you can see a bit of a change in the inside pattern of the alien heads. Obviously, the head's a little different, so one might be a GHI Royal, one might be a GHI Fire Royal. We're going to figure it out still.
Yeah, the one closer to you has more of a dorsal stripe, even though it's not solid, but the other one is more banded.
So we're still working to figure all this stuff out, you know. We have a GHI Royal going back to a Royal to make our first Rios this year. So we'll start getting some of the answers, you know.
Yeah, it's really exciting stuff.
I think that these are both the 3 gene in my opinion, but we're going to figure it out only because of how different they look compared to some of the other stuff that we produced in that clutch. If you can see that, you know, what a GHI looks like. So this is a GHI. You can clearly see it's nothing different out of the ordinary of a GHI. This as well. And you're like, oh, okay, I can see that.
This one I think is GHI Royal. You can see how the banding is thicker and darker. The alien heads are a little bit different. The tone of it is totally darker than...
You can see the outlines are a little bit different. Now getting back to these guys. So you can see that even though they're different, pretty different, they still share a lot of things that are similar. And so you got to think about who the parents were. You know, you have GHI Arroyo to Fire. You don't think there's anything else in there, you know, extra. So why wouldn't these be the same 3 genes, just expressed slightly differently? But again, this is a project that we're working on that we're like, hey, we're not sure. Not a lot's been done with it. So we're going to try to prove these out. And these are a pair. So we're going to do some mixes here with these 2, but also with a couple others to see if we can break out some of the genes.
Yeah, cool. And that's part of this project, is just breeding them together and proving them out and, you know, finding out if your guess was true or not. Wow, this one's really unique. What's this one?
So this is a Super Laurie. It's a female that we have. You can see it looks kind of exanthic, but it's a codom. And Laurie expresses itself single gene, and obviously because it's a codom. But when you get a Super Laurie, you get this graying and almost silver look. And it looks very exanthic, very cool. The pattern gets broken up here. See these alien heads have the holes in them.
It's like a bullseye. Yeah.
Yeah. So she's really cool. We really like her. She's produced a couple clutch for us, and I'll show you a couple of what she can do.
It's a pastel Laurie she produced. And then pastel hidden gene Wilma Laurie. You can see it makes the bullseyes like way more.
Yeah, you got a lot more of those.
And he's running away. So this is a male that actually we put to the Super Laurie. Sorry. We put back to the Super Laurie, so hopefully we'll get Super Laurie pastel hidden gene Wilmas. Let's see what that does.
That should be interesting. So can you explain the Laurie a little bit more?
Yeah, so we got the Laurie from Brian Barczyk at BHB. The gene actually is something that his wife found. It looked a little different. They sat on it for a few years not realizing what it was until they produced a Super, and it came out like this. And so Brian named it after Laurie, obviously. And a lot of people think it's the exact same genes as red exanthic, but what we find is in the Supers, or red exanthic, that the Laurie seems to hold its gray color a little bit better, and it looks just slightly different. So they may be a very similar line. We haven't tested that to see like breeding them together, but it's definitely something worth looking at. But it's still a really cool animal and a fun project to be a part of, because not a lot's been done with the Laurie at this point.
Cool. And you said you just got a clutch from her?
Yeah, we did. We just got a clutch from her, and one of the ones we just showed you, the pastel Laurie hidden gene Wilma. So at least we think so.
Awesome. Cool, man.
So we'll be updating you guys more on that later.
This is an Enchi Inferno male that we produced this year. The Inferno is a combination of pastel, hidden gene woma, and yellow belly, and then add Enchi. The hidden gene woma gene it's been around for a long time, but a lot of people still have some questions about it. They're not exactly sure if, like the name implies, there might be a hidden gene inside the woma. It's actually one gene. It's a codom, but the super form is lethal, so it produces all white snakes that have neurological problems and they don't thrive. But they do really mess with the pattern, especially when you mix in things like fire and pastel. You'll get really tight banding and crazy patterns on it.
Yeah, yeah. So it's really powerful and has a lot of potential.
So, yeah, we're excited to do some further trials with this gene, see what we can produce.
Awesome. So Ryan and Ben work with other species of snakes too. What do you have here?
This is a Rhino Rat Snake. This is Vietnamese locality. This is an adult. We have one adult pair. We actually have a bunch of babies that were growing up, and we just got a clutch from these of 10 eggs that we're incubating right now. So they're just pretty cool, unique animals.
Yeah, that nose is very unique.
They don't like to stay still because they're a rat snake, so they just want to move.
So what's the deal with the nose?
So nobody knows officially why they have the nose. Some of them think they use it as a lure. Some of them think they use it to break the surface tension in water, because when they're babies, they'll routinely eat fish. And I'm sure they probably even do into adulthood in the wild. But yeah, those are all guesses. Nobody really knows.
That's awesome. What other species do you work with?
So this is a Laticinctus. It's an Asian rat snake. They're real cool, real fast. I'm going to try to keep her calm to be in front of the camera in the picture here, but a little tricky. But they're really cool, really pretty animals. And you can see just the red and the banding. Really cool looking.
Yeah, so vibrant. What's the size they get to?
They'll get to like 2.5, 3 feet at the max. They're diurnal, so they're awake when you're awake. They are very active, obviously. So if you want a really nice display snake to put in like a tank in your living room that's like out and not hiding all the time, this is a great option.
Yeah, these are really nice, and it seems like your voice is very soothing to it because it stopped. It stopped running.
Dude,
He's like, wait, what? Are we getting food?
Yeah.
What's going on?
All right, that's cool. That's cool. Well, what is this thing?
So this is a Japanese forest rat snake, E. conspiculatus. They're pretty rare in the United States. Yeah. They love the burrow. They're really cool pattern. This is there's a whole bunch of different localities that have really different patterns and colors. Some of them are like solid, and almost green. Some of them are red and broken up like this. This one's from Honshu locality, and we just were able to get into this project from our friend Matthew Most. So yeah, we got pretty lucky with this one. Hopefully we can collect the rest of the localities.
That's cool. Have you produced any of these yet by yourself?
No. Hopefully soon.
Awesome.
But yeah, most of them are in Europe, so it'll be good to get a nice selection of them in the United States.
Awesome. So you guys work with other species like skinks?
yeah, we have... This is a northern Australian blue-tongued skink. I don't know if they stick their tongues out a bit, and maybe we can get her to stick her tongue out. But the northern is from... yeah, it's funny. They do it all the time, but not when you want them to. But the northerns are from northern Australia, obviously. And they are slightly different than some of the other Australian skinks. There's 5 or 6 varieties,
Yeah,
kind of thing. Trying to name them all in my head, but you can see some of them have, pretty cool patterns. The difference in northerns is usually these front legs here. Is one telltale sign that they're Australian or northern over Indonesian. Indonesians will have almost all black front legs with white spots. And you can see some of the coloring on the sides. It can be various colors, well, variations of it. But this one's really, really orange. And we have some that are yellow and some that are darker and some that are lighter. But we also have other varieties of blue-tongued skinks as well.
For instance, we also have eastern blue-tongued skinks. We have several different bloodlines. A couple of them are this way. Yep. A couple of them we're the only breeders in the U.S. that have them. We were lucky enough to get some out of Europe legally, and also Canada.
He said legally. I know it sounded
legally.
Illegally. It's legally.
Did I say legally? We have the paperwork. So, but this is a beautiful line that we got. This is actually from Don Patterson,
and this one's even darker.
And this one we got also from Canada. So there are some morphs in blue tongues. This is a hyper-melanistic eastern. Not very many in the U.S. Not very many legally either. we were lucky enough to get this imported legally from Canada, and it's a beautiful male. You can see the belly.
Yeah, it's a very deep, rich black, and that belly is beautiful as well.
So this is the same species as the one I just showed you last, and obviously you can tell it's way different looking. Absolutely. You get to see the tongue that we were talking about earlier.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, hopefully we'll make some of these in a couple years.
Awesome. All right, so now we're getting back to ball pythons.
So this is one that we produced a couple years ago. It's a Hyperion, so it's a super pastel fire and calico. But this one is, I mean, if you look at them online, this one's like way like blown out. Like the pattern's like basically gone. It's diffused. It was almost completely white when it was born. It developed these freckles along the dorsal. So pretty interesting animal. Not typical at all.
Yeah, you wouldn't think these genes combined would look like this, right?
Yeah, I mean, the fact that it has almost zero pattern on the sides is just really weird. So I think it's just like high expression calico, and then, you know, you throw the super pastel in there. It has a tendency to blow things out.
Yeah, yeah.
So we put her to a, you want to grab that one real quick? Super pastel calico hidden gene Loma. We have a clutch from these two together this year. This is super pastel calico hidden gene Woma, but also it's blown out, like all the patterns gone. It's got this like kind of camo pixelation, just really weird. So we figured why not take the two weirdest snakes that we produce and put them together.
All right, and last but not least,
so we also got into the scaleless head stuff, and this is a lemon blast, but it's also scaleless head. You can really see the scales missing there on its nose. But something that I was talking about earlier today is that you can also feel a difference in these animals. The scales are like a lot smaller and almost feel beaded. So when you touch them compared to some of the other snakes, they feel different, and we think that also it makes things a little bit more defined, colors and pattern-wise. So they're just really cool animals, really cool project to get into, and everything that you're like, hey, you know, we produced this already, but we didn't do it scaleless. So it's what people are starting to do, and it's fun. And that's what we always try to tell people.
Now, is there a difference between scaleless and microscale?
So, it's definitely two different lines that produce a similar outcome. I can't say that they're the exact same line, but Kevin McCurley has the microscale, and he's, you know, knows a lot of what he's doing, and he produces some really awesome animals. So he does produce a microscale that can go scaleless, and this is a scaleless head that also produces scaleless animals. So they may be very similar. I'm not 100% sure, but these animals are very cool.
Definitely.
And fun to work it. in.
Absolutely. Awesome. Thank you.
So this was really fun. Thanks for having me over, guys.
Hey, no problem, man. We enjoy getting together with people that enjoy the hobby and have fun, and we can show off some of our stuff, and we get to see some other people's stuff that's pretty cool.
And we'll be coming to see your collection next.
Oh yeah, that's right. So make sure you're subscribed to them. They have a YouTube channel as well. I'll put a link to the channel in the description below. That's all, guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.